Welcome back to Simright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew these baggy shorts with waist pleating. It has two side pockets and it also has a zipper at the back. I'll be sharing with you some tips and tricks to making these shorts the way it is, pleated and baggy. It has zipper at the back, as you can see. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial. Right here, I'm making use of a leftover fabric, but I'll advise you to use 1.5 yards of Ankara fabric for this project. Cut out the front piece. I place my fabric on fold using my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 8 inches. I added 8 inches to my hip circumference divided by 4. So the fabric is on fold, as you can see right here. So I'm turning it to the wrong side, so we'll be able to mark out the lines. Now my fabric, I cut it using my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 8 inches. So after folding it, I'm going to make a little border line on top. That will be my starting line. Next, I'm going to place my tape. So I'm using 2.5 inches of band. So I place my tape on the waistline at 2 inches and mark my hip height at 10 inches. Couch height is my hip circumference divided by 4. Whatever you get, add 1.5 inches to it. Then the height of this pant is 18. I added 1 inch for seaming the down part of this pant. So everything is 19 inches. So I'm highlighting the lines right now. The next is to take the thigh length. So from that crouch length, you measure 4 inches downwards and mark your thigh height. I'm going to also rule a straight line on the thigh height. Now we are going to label the waist, the hip, the crouch, the thigh, and the full length of this pant. So you can make this pant longer if you want, okay? But I think 19 inches is moderate and okay. So on the hip line, I'm going to place my hip divided by 4 and I added 5 inches to it. So your hip divided by 4, whatever you get, add 5 inches to it. Then rule a straight line to touch the crouch line and the waist line. The crouch extension, I'm going to use my hip circumference. So use your hip circumference, divide it by 4. The result, divide it by 4 again. So I got 3 inches for my crouch extension and I marked it on the crouch line. So you are going to connect from the hip, use a curve to connect it, or you can freehand it the way I do right now. Now I'm going to make a straight line to the thigh line. So on the thigh line, I'm going to take away 1/2 inch from that 3 inches. So I marked 2.5 inches and connected. So I'll connect all the way down to the hem, as you see me do right here. So I'm trying to highlight that line. So the front piece is ready right now and is ready to cut. So here is a crouch curve and it went into the thigh and to the hem. So I'll go over to cut the chalk line. So after we are done cutting this piece right now, we are going to cut the back piece. Don't forget to add your 1/2 inch seam allowance, okay? The seam allowance for the band. Then I'm going to open up the side because the side also have a side pocket. Now I folded my fabric again, but this time around a little bigger than the fold I had for the front piece. Now I'm going to mark 1.5 inches, that is for the bum illusion for the back. So you are going to mark 1.5 inches for the bum illusion. After that is done, I'm going to place the front piece on that line, as you see me do right here, making sure the folded part matches the side of the front. Now we will begin to mark out the back piece. So on the center front or center back, I came up by 1.5 inches and I'm going to slant it to meet the side of the front. So that is for the bum illusion. Then I started adding 2 inches. So you keep adding 2 inches like this all the way down. But once I got to the crouch line, I added 3 inches. Then I begin to add 2 inches downwards. So I'll go ahead and connect the 2 inches into the 3 inches back crouch extension. And then I'm going to connect it all the way down to 2 inches, as you can see. Now the back is going to have a zipper, so I'll just trace the hip line and add 1 inch for my zipper allowance. So here is my zipper allowance because the zip is going to be at the back. Now I'm going to cut this out. I'll follow the line. So I actually cut it out off camera, but I just followed the chalk line, as you can see right here. So just follow the chalk line for the back and cut the back piece. We want to work on the pocket for the front piece right now. So I brought my fabric and I placed it on 4 folds. So the width of this fabric measures 9 inches. The width measures 9 inches. The length measures 11 inches. So I'll open up this piece because I placed it in 4 folds. So I'm just going to open everything up right now. Now I'm going to mark the wrong side. So you have to mark the wrong size of this pocket. I'm going to pick 2 pieces of this pocket now, and I'm going to place them right side to right side and then place the front piece exactly aligning on the waistline and on the side. You can secure with your pins if you want. Now on the waistline, I'm going to take the measurement. I'm taking 2 inches from the waistline, from the side, 2 inches, and 6.5 inches on the side of this pocket. Now I will go in by 1/2 inch for the stitching of the pocket. Then I'm going to rule a straight line connecting it, as you can see. Now I'm going to cut on the chalk line, including the pocket and the front piece of this baggy short. So the pocket piece is ready right now. I'm going to take off that piece. Now I want to just slant, give a little curve to this pocket. I love to make this curve to my pocket. So this is the pocket piece, and the pocket cover, we are going to also use the pocket piece to shaping the side of it. So I place the pocket piece to the pocket cover while the pocket cover is still on right side to right side. So I just go ahead and shaping this part, I mean the curvy part of it. So 2 of them will be curvy and I align to each other. So the pockets are ready right now. We'll begin to stitch this pocket. But before we do that, we need to join the center front of this pant. I will go over to the machine now. I'm going to stitch 1/2 inch to the center front of this pant. I will stitch from the waistline all the way to the crouch line. So I'm stitching 1/2 inch right now once I get to my machine. So after stitching, this is what I got. So it's time for us to sew the pocket. So I'll bring in the pocket which I've cut right now, and I'm going to place the pocket piece right side to right side to the main fabric. I'm going to secure with my pins. So I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side of the pocket as well. So I'll go over to the other pocket and I'm going to place right side to right side. Then I'll secure with my pins as well. The next is to stitch at 1/2 inch. But before I do that, I'm going to chalk the part I'm going to stitch. So I'll just chalk it down. I'll repeat the same thing the other way. Chalk the side you are going to stitch. So after chalking it, we'll head over to the sewing machine to stitch that part. So chalk it in and out the way you see me do right here. Okay, we are going to stitch the chalk line. So after stitching, I'm going to make a diagonal notch at that corner. Then flip all my seams to the pocket and top stitch so it relaxes for you very well. The pocket is ready right now, so I'm going to align the sides and the waistline of the pocket to the pant. So after that, you can secure with your pin because the pocket will now be one piece with the pant itself. So that is that. I'm going to bring the pocket cover, place it right side to right side, and make sure the curvy part matches with the curvy part of the pocket itself. I'm going to secure with my pin. So you hold it down the way I'm holding it down. Align them very well on the side and on the waistline. So after pinning, the next we are going to do is to go over to the machine to stitch the pockets together. So you can see I'm lifting it up, the pocket up, the pocket cover and the pocket. I'm going to lift it up and stitch that part first at 1/2 inch. After stitching, you can go ahead and weave. Now I'm going to stitch the sides and the waistline together to the pocket. So here is my pocket and I've already stitched 1/2 inch like I demonstrated. Next, I'm going to sew the waistline and then I'm going to sew the sides to the pants. The pocket is ready on both sides. So we are going to put this pocket together. Remember, we took 2 inches. 2 inches on the pocket line. So I'm going to take 2 inches again, so we'll be able to reshape that pocket. So you place your tape and take whatever inches you take for your pocket spacing. So I took 2 inches and I'm going to reshape that part. I'll go ahead and cut it off accordingly. After that is done, the front piece of this pant is ready. Okay, the short front piece is ready. We'll go over to the back piece. So the back piece, I'll just chalk from the part we have our zipper. I'm going to sew 1/2 inch all the way on the crouch line. After stitching, this is what I got. So I like to make some little notches on that curvy part of the crouch. So I just made little notches to it. Next, I'm going to sew the zipper on that point, but before that we are going to join the pants. Okay, we are joining the short together. So I'll bring the right side to right side of the front and the back and sew the sides. I'm stitching the side at 1/2 inch. So I went over to the machine to stitch the sides. After stitching the sides, this is what I got. Next is to stitch the crouch area. So you bring the crouch area together, pin them together, open up the seams, then stitch 1/2 inch from the crouch line all the way to the full length of this pant. So after stitching, this is what I got right now. So the pant is ready. Next is to prepare the band and make the pleating on the waistline. So you can decide to gather, you can decide to pleat, but the original copy of this pant is a pleating. So now I'm going to bring in my band. My band width is 6 inches and I joined it together with my waist circumference. Okay, then I added 2 inches for zipper. I'll go over to the ironing table and I have ironed 1/2 inch on one side. Now on the center front where I joined this band, I'm going to put it together and mark on the open side 1 inch for the zipper. So this is what you are going to do. Then on the other part of it, you create a notch. So this notch is where we are going to stitch the side of this pant. So the center front is the join part and the notch part is the side part. The open parts are the zipper part. I'm going to bring in my pant right now. I'm going to place the band right side to the wrong side of the pant. I will open up the seams on the center front and I'm going to pin the joining of the band, which is the center front. I'm going to pin them. Then on the notch part of the band, I'm going to pin the sides of these pants. I'll also repeat the same process just to be sure I have the points at the exact place. So on the side, the other side of the pants, I'm going to place the notch part too. Then the open part is going to be the zipper part. So we'll go over to the machine. I'm going to show you how to pleat in this excess into the band. I'll repeat the same on the other side. So here on the machine, I'm going to pleat in the band, the pants into the band. So I'll go ahead and top stitch, and I'll begin to pleat in accordingly. So I kept pleating all the way you see me pleating right now. So I'll pleat and pleat and pleat until the excess I have on the pants goes into the band. So make sure you distribute your pleats very well so it looks neat and clean. So you can also use gathers on this part. You can gather into it, you can pleat into it, but the original has a pleating. So that's why I'm pleating this baggy, the excess into the band. After pleating, this is what we got. You can see the front piece and the back piece of this pant. Now I'm going to bring in the folded 5 inches to place on the front piece for top stitching. I'll go ahead and top stitch accordingly. After top stitching, this is what I got. The pant is ready and the pockets are there. So I will go over to sew the zipper right now. So here I'm going to sew my zip. So I just have a short zip to sew in here. And after sewing, this is what I got. You can also sew a long zip if you want. And this is what we have. So next is to hem the down part of this pant, and we are done. Thank you for coming, and see you in the next class. Bye.